A person that is worried is going to bring a lot of problems to themselves and other people, because that worry itself is literally a sin. And the prophet Isaiah says in chapter 30, verse 15, says, with security and trust will be your might. Meaning that the fact that you have Bitachon in Hashem, you have confidence in Hashem, that's what's going to give you strength to win the war. It's not the weapon, it's not the Iron Dome, it's not how many planes you have, it's not how many bombs you have. No, no, no. You have faith in Hashem, that Hashem will take care of you. That's enough. In reality, that's the only thing that can protect you. And David HaMelech writes in Tehillim 118:6, Hashem is with me, therefore I have no fear of what man may do to me. Since I feel Hashem is with me, therefore I do not fear, and therefore no man can harm me at all. So in our mincha, we say this every day, and it's very, very easy to get so used to our prayer that we really don't ever delve into the meaning of the words. David HaMelech, after Amidah, we read Tehillim number 25. I believe Sfaradim and Ashkenazim both read it. I think so. No? Ashkenazim don't read Tehillim after? No, actually, no, you don't. No. So, the Sfaradim read after Mincha, we read Tehillim number 25. And it's a very famous Tehillim that LeDavid Elecha Adonai Nafshi Esa, Eloi Becha Batachti, Ale Vosha, Ale Al Tzuoi Vaili. So, David HaMelech says that my soul is being lifted to my God because I trusted Him, Batachti. What did He trust Him in? That He's not going to let me be embarrassed. And He won't let my enemies rejoice over me. Here in the first verse of this Tehillim, it's in essence the worry that every human being has. We don't necessarily fear loss because of ourselves all the time. We fear loss because of what other people think of us. Losing money is bad enough. Losing status is much worse. So I remember one woman told me, listen, we have the foreclosure happening. They had a foreclosure, miskanim. Foreclosure happening, scheduled for a certain date. And they were trying to get the money together, but there was a high likelihood they're not going to get the money together. Baruch Hashem, in the end, they ended up getting the money together. But she told me there's something that I'm thinking about it right now, and it really fits. She says to me, she says, listen, the money, the house, I lose it. It's from Hashem. What can I do? It wants to take it, take it. I love the house, lived in the house for so many years. I don't want to lose the house. But if it goes, Baruch Hashem, what can I do? Oh, so I'm thinking, wow, this woman is Ba'alat Emunah, Ishtabach Shemo. She goes, yeah, but here's the thing. What I can't handle is all the neighbors are going to see the sheriff come to the house and lock the door. That I can't handle. That I'd rather die, she tells me. The neighbors seeing the sheriff lock the door, put one of those tapes on. Do not enter, one of the caution, or whatever it says. Auction taking place in front of the house. She says, for that, I'd rather die. All the neighbors that don't like me, all the neighbors that this, all the neighbors, all this, all that. A person thinks about the embarrassment that happens to them as a result of loss, as a result of divorce, as a result of things like that. It's unbearable. And that actually leads a lot of people to commit suicide and do a lot of stupid things. Because they're literally more petrified of the shame than they are of the actual loss. This actually means that they have a different problem. Aside from having a problem of money or whatever the issue is, they also have a problem with kavod, pride. And pride, the Ramban says in his letter, in Igeret HaRamban, is the worst midah you can possibly have. Unfortunately, many of us suffer from it because we think that we're something special because we're smart, or we're good looking, or we're rich, or we're this, or whatever. For some reason, all of us justify some reason that we should be proud of. So even David HaMelech says that I have trust in Hashem that He's not going to let my enemies rejoice over me. That's what I trust. Even David HaMelech, that called himself, he's a worm but not a man. He said, I trust that Hashem is not going to get me to such a point. I trusted Him. He's not going to get to such a point that my enemies are going to rejoice over me. But he says, we hope, all of us hope in you, that we should not be embarrassed, that we should not be ashamed, that we should not be mistreated. Teach us your ways, inform me your ways, lead me into your truth. Adricheni be'amitecha ve'lamdeni. Lead me in your truth, for you are the God of my salvation. Ki ata Elohei ish'i. Otcha kiviti kol hayom. For you, I thought about you all day. All day I'm thinking about you, Hashem. Zechor rachamecha Hashem v'chasadecha ki me'olam ema. Please remember your mercies, Hashem, your kindness, the eternal kindness that you have. And my sins, chataot neorai upeshai al tiskor. But my sins that I did in my past, don't remember those. Don't hold those things against me. Because if you do, no one can withstand these things. So here we see that David HaMelech himself is concerned about all this. But then later on in the same Tehillim, he says, he says, see my affliction, my toil. Meaning, see all the horrible things that actually ended up happening to me. Meaning, all the things he was worried about in the beginning. He's not going to be embarrassed of, in front of his enemies and so on. Look at all those horrible things that are actually happening to me. And if you compare it to my sins, why am I getting, I made one sin, and all these horrible things are happening to me? And he says, but what's the difference between us and David HaMelech? Shamra nafshi ve'atzileni alevosh ki chasiti bach. Please Hashem, you protected my soul until now, despite all this bad stuff happening to me. Don't let me be ashamed, because I take refuge in you. Meaning, even though I was afraid of bad things to happen, and they ended up happening, I'm still going to you, because you're the only thing that I have. Why? Because Tom v'yosher yitzuruni. The only thing that preserved me was my innocence, my honesty. I knew where I was wrong, I knew I was right, I knew I was connected to you from the beginning, and in you is what I had my hope in. Ki kiviticha. So please Hashem, redeem Israel, redeem Am Yisrael from all of its troubles, and Hashem will redeem Am Yisrael from all of its sins. So here we see that even though some of the things that David HaMelech worried about actually ended up happening, he knew that he caused it himself. Hashem is right. So that's why I still go back to you. And that's why in the end he says, please Hashem, redeem Am Yisrael from all of its troubles, and you're redeemed from the sins. Why? Because the sins caused the troubles. The sins caused the troubles.